Oh, really?
Oh.
All right. Did y'all have that computer? Here we go. 2.2 trig functions of non-acute angles. So remember we talked about acute angles means that is less than 90 degrees, correct? Now we're on to non-acute angles, which means angles that are bigger than 90 degrees, okay? Here we go. So first up, we're gonna talk about a reference angle. A reference angle for any angle is the positive acute angle made by terminal side of angle theta in the x-axis. So when you're trying to find your reference angle, it depends on where it falls. If it falls in quadrant 2, to find the reference angle, it's going to be 180 minus whatever the theta is. That wasn't a very pretty theta, so let me fix it. Minus whatever the theta is, okay? If it falls in quadrant 3, it's going to be the theta minus 180 in order to find your reference angle. And if it falls in quadrant 4, to find your theta, it's going to be 360 minus whatever your theta is, okay? The reason why you want to find a reference angle is because you're now going to get an angle that is acute. And then you can follow the acute rules from there. Well, for us, it's just going to be 30s, 60s, and 45s right now. What we're going to be doing tomorrow is building our unit circle, which I'm so excited about. You may not be as excited, but I'm excited. Y'all are excited? Oh, losers, you'll appreciate it once we build it. Okay. All right. You're going to continue. Are we good? So if I'm looking for a reference angle, the reason why quadrant 1 isn't part of this is because quadrant 1 is already less than 90 degrees. Okay. All right. So a common error is to find the reference angle by using the terminal side, meaning using your terminal side of the angle and the y-axis. We do not use our y-axis to find the reference angle. It's always based off of your x-axis, which means we're only using 180 or 360, okay? So up first, okay, the picture wasn't supposed to come yet. You saw nothing. Up first, we have 218 degrees. So if I have 218 degrees and I want to find its reference angle, the first thing I got to ask myself is, what quadrant does 218 fall in? 3. So this is in quadrant 3. Agreed? So if it falls in quadrant 3, what are the steps I take to find the reference angle? So the reference angle here, that's when we do our theta minus 180, correct? What is our theta? So 218 minus 180. So our reference angle is going to equal, what's 218 minus 38? That's our reference angle. Okay, so that's saying that 218 degrees is 38 degrees from 180. Yes. Okay, why is this useful? That's because if I knew the sine, cosine, tangent of 38 degrees, then that means I know the sine, cosine, tangent of 218 degrees. I just have to make sure I apply whether it's negative or positive based on being in quadrant 3. So keeping that in mind, remember we talked about all students take calculus, okay? That means that all trig values are positive in quadrant 1. Only sine and cosecant are positive in quadrant 2. Only tan and cotangent are positive in quadrant 3. And only cosine and secant are positive in quadrant 4. Do you remember that? So this lets me know that the sine of 218, the cosine, the cosecant, the secant would all be negative, but tan and cotangent would be positive. Okay. But first we got to make sure we can find the reference angle. Okay, what happens if your angle is bigger than 360? You're going to subtract. You're going to have to find this what? Coterminal. We're not, before you do anything, you have to find your coterminal, which means that it needs to be less than 360. So if I have 1,387 How many times do I think I have to subtract 360? Okay, let's see. So we have 1387 minus 360 times what? You want to start with 3 and see what happens? Okay, so I'm going to go to my handy dandy calculator. Oh, I hope I have a calculator on this computer. I don't think I do. I have to have a calculator on here. There's no way.
307 is the smallest of these. Well, it's 1080. 360 times 3 is 1080.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's
All right, so 360 times 3. Justice said 1080. And that leaves us with, are we lower than 360? Yes. So that means that the terminal side of this resides in what quadrant? Quadrant 4. And if we're in quadrant 4, how do I find the reference angle? There we go. So this would equal 360 minus our theta. So that gives us 360 minus 307, which equals 53 degrees. So our reference angle is 53 degrees. That means that 1,307 degrees is roughly 53 degrees away from the nearest x-axis. And because of that, that means if I knew the sine, cosine, tangent, all the above of 53 degrees, then I also know the sine, cosine, tangent of 1,387.
Why did you say that the first quadrant was a quadrant?
Because it's already less than 90. So this is for non-acute angles. Okay. Okay, so again, summarizing reference angles. We have quadrant 1 is good to go, less than 90, right? Quadrant 2, we're going to do 180 minus theta. Quadrant 3, it's the theta minus 180. And in quadrant 4, it's 360 minus theta. Are we comfortable with that conclusion after applying it? Yes. We got reference angles? All right, cool.